Jij is ook in Hielen.
May I please have your attention for the welcoming speech of Mr. Frank van de Voorde, Alderman responsible for education, the fire department and health. Thank you.
First of all, on my behalf, I would like to welcome you here in our City Hall. This City Hall, ladies and gentlemen, was built between 1376 and 1420, in a space period of about 45 years. And as you guys, I think, mentioned before when we were standing outside, it has a spectacular facade. But it has also, and you can witness it now, a very astonishing room. That's the place where we are for the moment. And this room, ladies and gentlemen, is for ages, for centuries, until today, the political heart of the Bruges city. The history of our city is very rich and is illustrated in numerous murals you can admire around you. And Christine will tell you something more about them later on. And when you leave the city hall and you go into the city, I think perhaps you have seen it already, very rich architectural patrimony, which also illustrates the importance of the city of Bruges has always had. Therefore, the city center of Bruges is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And our monuments, our medieval facades and steeples are famous all over the world. Anyhow, Bruges is not only a historical city. Even today, we continue to write history. We provide, for instance, a platform for contemporary art and culture. Every summer, the city organizes numerous pageants, music festivals, exhibitions, and movies. And our cultural institutions put quality first and theatre, music, or film. Another important building is the concert building, which is situated on Port de Saint-Denis, place here in Bruges. It's also the place where our information center is established. It's called In and Out. And it has become an establishment name worthy for Bruges Cultural Program. It's as this building, thanks to its marvelous acoustics, to its varied program and its architectural value, is this building very well known all over the world and is recognized as one of the best of its kind. It is even mentioned in the book 1001 Buildings You Must See Before You Die. I don't make any compromise with the neighbors. Neighbors you have to see. This you can see, and afterwards you can see many other things. Ladies and gentlemen, culture is also happiest when it is combined with something other, which is especially in Bruges, namely gastronomy, with the G. Not astronomy, but gastronomy. If Bruges was ever the city where once dwelt Europe's most prominent nobles, counts and countesses, then at the present day, Bruges must be inhabited by the princes and princesses of the kitchen. Enjoy our Bruges chocolate during the chocolate festival or in one of our specialist shops, or learn about the history of chocolate in the chocolate museum. Get acquainted with the beer company. Visit our trendy bistros for a healthy snack, or dine in style in one of our top restaurants, which are top, believe me. It's no coincidence that Bruges gastronomy is star-studded. In this city, several renowned institutes train restaurateurs and sommeliers. Turven de Poort, one of them, but also Stenari, another one, are very famous beyond Bruges boundaries. Also in September, we organized the third edition of something which we call Cook Eat, and that's a culinary event of the top chefs that attracted last year about 80,000 visitors to visit our city. Apart from tourism, Zeebrugge is also an important economic player. Zeebrugge is one of the most important harbors in the world and market leader for the import and export of new vehicles, cars throughout. The port can receive the biggest container ships in the world. Zeebrugge is important for the economic future of the region, but also for the rest of farmers. Further disclosure of this port is very important as a priority, but it's necessary to make radical changes in our way to conduct the mobility in the region here in Bruges. We have to do very important changes to the railroads, to the inland navigation, but also to the road access, and that's a very important issue which we have to deal with in the coming months. Mobility, ladies and gentlemen, is also one of the top priorities of this historical city, with its many, as you may have witnessed, many small allies, where city people live and work, and also because of the fact that we are a very popular tourist destination. The City Council wants to reduce traffic in the city centre by imposing a number of measures to promote the use of bicycle and public transport. Important issue. Ladies and gentlemen, a comparative study of 13 important Flemish cities shows that the inhabitants of Bruges are extremely proud of the city and are looking at one. I am convinced that you will endorse this opinion after your visit to the city, perhaps you have already done it. As you have seen, Bruges is a very lively city with numerous treasures for you. Thank you.
Mr. Vandervoort, thank you very much. It's always so wonderful to come back to Bruges. We were here in October, and I felt so at home. And the city helped do that by inviting us to this beautiful, wonderful piece of history and art. As you told about your post at Alderman, I kind of felt right at home, since you're responsible for education, the fire department, and health. That's like psychotherapists. You also mentioned many positive aspects of Bruges. Again, you talked about the culture and gastronomy. And again, I saw the parallel to what we do, because culture has to do with the soul. You come into a room like this and your heart opens up if you appreciate the beauty and the history that is in this room. Not only what has been represented, but what we can imagine as taking part in this room since it was built. And of course, gastronomy is for the body, and we try also to feed the body what it needs at an emotional and personal level. So there's some similarities. I made, because I want to do this right, I know I might have to say something, I did a little research internet what it says is nice about Bruges and important. I'll just say a few things that was put there for tourists. Lace, beer, chocolate, Saturday street market, and the museums, of course. And they even listed the Belgian French fries, or Belgian fries, sorry. But I did further research to make it more lively, and I asked over 66% of the people I know who live in Bruges, that was 2 people, that what they like about it. And I just wanted to go shortly through the list, because this is a personal reaction, but it's also a feeling I have when I come back each time. This is some of the things that make this wonderful city so lovable and comfortable. It's a medium-sized city, not too big, not too small. It is a well-preserved medieval city with a rich history. Of course, it's often compared with Venice, but it's a whole other beauty, a whole other history, I know. Of course, there's one similarity: you can't get lost in it. Some people don't believe that, but I got lost in Venice as well, so that was it has a green belt where the residents can relax. And I'm sure this is a relaxing city to live in, when it nourishes the soul. It has a lot of cultural attractions and events, like I've already said. And for us, colleagues dealing with attachment and the necessity of security in our daily lives, the people like Cole said it's a safe and peaceful city to live in. So it seems to be a safe place. So I want to end by thanking you personally and thanking the city fathers for making this possible. We're just a small group, and we have this wonderful chance to meet you and to come into this beautiful building and feel so welcome. I feel very at home. I'm sure that all our participants in the conference feel as well. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, meanwhile my colleagues are putting everything ready for reception downstairs at the salons of the mayor. I will tell you something about this Gothic hall. I'm a member of the Public Relations Service of the city, and what happens here is, of course, tonight you are our distinguished guests, but if you all could talk, because this room is the most important one of the whole city hall. First of all, like Mr. Allman said, it was built in 1376, all handmade, and it lasted until 1420 to finish it. A real piece of art, for instance, the ceiling, all made totally out of wood, oak, and you would think that there were once, you see the arches, the bending arches where the lightnings are hanging, you would think once there were consoles to sustain them, but that was never the fact. It was really the purpose to have those bending arches. And what we call the rosette, the little flowers, they have little paintings in the heart, so it's very, very detailed. Anyway, this room is designed to impress, but I have to be honest, the paintings you see are not the original ones. Why? Because those already disappeared in 1410, so before the building was even finished. And it was, those you see nowadays are painted at the end of the 19th century, starting 20th century, and it was a romantic period. That explains the big use of the color of gold paint, and the city council of that time decided to have the theme of Flanders, Bruges as a history on the walls. The main painting is the one on my right hand side. It's about the Battle of the Golden Spurs. So Jan Breydel was a Bruges Flemish knight, and you see him twice. You see him also next to the chimney with the Bruges flag. The flag of Bruges is a blue lion with white and red stripes. And it was about the Battle of the Golden Spurs, so the small county of Flanders against the mighty kingdom of France that was won by Flanders, and that's why we still have the holiday on 11th of July. Behind me, another painting of Derek of Alsace, Count, who is on his knees giving a golden box to a priest, and in reality, behind this very own wall, there is the Basilica of the Holy Blood, and that is what the painting represents, that he gives a box to the priest of the Basilica of the Holy Blood, and it is said that the relic of the blood of Jesus Christ is in it, and you see it in the Basilica. And every year on Ascension Day we have the procession going out where it's shown to the people on Ascension Day. What also happens here is if like presidents, princes, queens, kings, princesses come over to our city, they get to see this hall also, and then they sign the Golden Book. And the civil weddings also take place. So there is one condition: one of the two partners has to be an inhabitant of the city of Bruges. And it's also a museum, only closed on Christmas Day and New Year's Day. And the last Tuesday of the month, except July and August, the city council gets together to decide about important themes. Then the mayor and the aldermen are sitting on the big table, and the city councillors are sitting where you are, so it's still a room, it's history, but it's still in use also. You see a lot of shields also with names of cities, and that is because in history Bruges was well known for trade with wool and cloth. And in fact, Bruges was founded in the year 800 by Vikings, people from Norwegia, and they called it Brygga, that means landing stage. So later on we get invasion of other countries, Austria, Germany, Holland, Spain, Portugal, also through important political marriages, Flanders and also Bruges became part of it. And in the early Middle Ages, it was a fact that Bruges was even big as London and Paris. So that meant 60,000 inhabitants on the same surface. We call it the city centre, the egg of Bruges. What happened? Well, the sanding of the canal, the natural canal from the seaside, the North Sea to the city, so trade by ship was not possible anymore. They didn't have the knowledge, so history decides that we became poor, and London and Paris became million cities with big avenues, boulevards, lanes, how we call it. But anyhow, today, let's say the last 100 years, tourism has become a value for our city. And with last year almost 4 million tourists on this small surface, we are a million city again. Anyhow, I will stop talking. On behalf of the city of Bruges, I may invite you downstairs for the reception. Thank you.
Thank you.